dive into something pretty cool from Docker that might just change how you think about building AI into your apps. It's called the Docker ModelRunner, and it's all about bringing these powerful AI models right into the world you already know and love, containers.
So, picture this. You're a developer, you're building something awesome, and you decide, I want to add some AI smarts to this. But here's the thing, right? That usually means you've got to add another tool to your stack. You might be thinking of something like a llama, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it's another command line, another thing to learn, another thing to manage. It's what we call tool fatigue, and it's a real headache. But imagine for a second, what if you could find, download, and run these massive AI models using the exact same tool and the exact same commands you already use every single day for your app containers? Well, that's the big idea, the promise behind the Docker ModelRunner. Okay, so how do we actually get our hands dirty with this? Let's walk through the first couple of steps to get this thing up and running, and the real beauty here is how simple it is, especially if you're already living in the Docker world. The barrier to entry here is super low. All you really need is Docker Desktop, which you probably already have installed and running. The only catch is you gotta make sure it's updated to a recent version. We're talking 4.40 or newer, since this is a pretty fresh feature. Oh, and make sure you're logged in. That's literally it. No new software, no complicated installs. All right, once that's updated, fire up your terminal and type this in, docker model-h. If you see a whole list of model-related commands pop up, congrats, you are ready to rock. If you get an error saying model isn't a command, you probably just need to give Docker Desktop a quick restart or double check that you're on the latest version. And this is where the magic really happens. The commands for working with these AI models, they're designed to feel instantly familiar. Why? Because they're basically a mirror image of the classic Docker commands you already know for containers. This means the learning curve is, well, practically flat for millions of us. First question, right? Where do you even get these models from? Well, just like Docker Hub is the place for container images, there's now a dedicated spot there for AI models too. You can just browse for popular models like Llama 3, all prepackaged and good to go. So step 1 is pulling a model. And look at this command. It's Docker model pull. Sounds familiar, right? Just like Docker pull, this command downloads the AI model to your local machine. We're using the small LM2 model here because it's nice and small, perfect for just kicking the tires. The first time you do this, it'll take a minute to download, but then it's yours. Okay, so you've downloaded a model. Now, how do you check what's actually on your machine? Easy, Docker model list. This just gives you a nice, clean list of all the AI models you've got stashed locally. No more guessing. All right, now for the really fun part, actually running the model. You just type Docker ModelRun and the model name, and bam, you're in an interactive chat session right there in your terminal. You can ask it questions, tell it to write code. It's basically like having your own private ChatGPT that lives right on your laptop. And look, when you're all done and you want to clean things up and get some hard drive space back, the command is exactly what you'd guess. Docker ModelRM. It just removes the model from your system, keeping everything nice and tidy. So there you have it. It's this beautiful, simple workflow. You pull it, you list it, you run it, and you remove it. It's the same 4-step dance that so many of us have already memorized from managing containers. Okay, typing commands into a terminal is cool and all, but what's the real payoff here? How does this actually help you build a real-world application? This is where things get really interesting. So Docker has this great little example repo just to show you how powerful this is, and getting it running is honestly a piece of cake. You clone the repo, you cd into the directory, you run one little script, and you open your browser. That's it. The script takes care of the rest using the local model we just downloaded. And what do you get? Boom, a fully functional AI chat interface right there in your browser, powered by that little model we pulled down. You can chat with it, ask it to explain concepts, and it's incredibly fast because it's all running locally. This is that aha moment where you see just how smooth this whole integration really is. All right, let's zoom out for a second and talk about why this is such a game changer. It all boils down to one simple, powerful idea, a single, unified workflow. Just look at the two worlds side by side. On the left, you've got the old way. You're using Docker for your applications, but then you need a completely separate tool like Llama for your AI models. That means two CLIs, two ecosystems to manage. But on the right, with Docker ModelRunner, your apps and your AI models live in the same house, managed by the same familiar rules. And you know, this quote from a developer just hits the nail on the head. If you're a DevOps person, if you live and breathe containers, you already have Docker.
So why on earth would you add a second, separate piece of software when you can just use the one you already trust? It's all about slashing complexity. So what does this mean for the future? Where are we going with this? This kind of tight integration is a sign of a much bigger trend, and it's something every developer should be thinking about. Look, if you remember one thing, it's this. Docker is basically erasing the line between your application and your AI. You're using commands that are already muscle memory, you're killing the tool fatigue, and you're creating one single unified platform for both your code and the AI that's going to make it amazing. And that really leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? As AI stops being this separate thing and becomes just another feature baked into every single app, are these unified platforms going to become the only sane way to build software? It's definitely something to chew on.